Hello. I'm Jonathan Hicks, your humble games master. Okay, well, welcome back everybody to part 3. Sorry, we're actually a couple of weeks late. Unfortunately, due to technical issues, of course, we didn't actually manage to get the last adventure in. But welcome to part 3. Very subtly titled The Battle. I do apologise to everybody if there's no battle in advance, but that's not up to me, it's up to them what they do. We've come a long way since the beginning of this adventure. 6 weeks, actually. It started off with them in Outdorf being asked to be agents of the Hammer to track down a mysterious figure called Amanda Gwyn, who apparently can see the future and he knows what's in store for the old world. And Emperor Karl Franz thinks that he could put that kind of power to good use. So these people, these brave, plucky adventurers, and Mark have been told to go flying out into the wilderness to find Armand de Gwyn to bring him back at the Emperor's pleasure. During that road, I've had a couple of encounters with some people who obviously don't like Armand de Gwyn, with some ghosts, a bunch of orcs, and strange dead guy on a throne. At the end of that one, of course, they activated a magic hammer, and there was a huge pulse of light, which is where, if I remember correctly, is where we left it.
Yes.
I believe our erstwhile friend had triggered some kind of ancient curse.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, ancient curse. Oh, I never thought of that. Hang on, let me just write that down.
Yeah.
So,
there was an
be
ancient curse, and then
yeah, it could have been a modern curse. I think ancient just kind of gives it a bit of gravitas, you know.
Yeah, but if we say modern curse, it's like, oh no, my Wi-Fi's out again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same sort of.
COVID
It doesn't have the same sort of gravitas. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so that's basically what's happened. They inserted a key into a hammer, and the hammer glowed. It'll make sense if you've watched the last episode. And yeah, all sorts of stuff happened. Now, Strain's character Christoph and Hagen's character Norgond, sadly they can't make it to this stream at the moment. So what we're going to say is I'm going to keep them in reserve, so they can just sort of come along as NPC, so to speak. But if there's a fight, then maybe they'll dive in and help. But the onus is going to be on you two guys, Amadeus and Osgood, played by Mark and Lloyd, because that's them. So let's crack on, now that we've had a brief update, which made absolutely no sense to me, and I'm the one that actually designed the game. So there's a huge pulse of lights. The shockwave sort of goes off, you actually sort of feel this static electricity go down your body. And it goes off into the ceiling, it illuminates the ceiling where you see a lot of very, very thick cobwebs. And these cobwebs, it seems to be moving slightly, as if there's something large inside them. And it sort of bounces off the wall. Now, on the back wall of this massive chamber, remember, it looked like the Drow Elves. It had all the columns, floor to ceiling, it was huge, and there was all sorts of stuff all about. Off the back wall, sort of like the light hits the wall, but this archway remains glowing at the bottom. It's probably about dwarf-sized, because it's a dwarven hall. Wouldn't make it man-sized, would they? Slightly, and then you actually see it start to slide upwards. And this explosive magic hammer, which now is just a useless piece of wood, has revealed a secret way at the back of the hall. The grounding noise is really, really loud. It's almost as if this light is not emanating from anything, but it's still lingering in the air. Like you've been given dark vision, because everybody loves dark vision. And it's so you can actually see a little bit more detail. Like I say, these things in the ceiling, it's really, really thick cobwebs. And you can see like sacks hanging from the cobwebs. It doesn't look very appetizing at all. But yeah,
if they're exclusively a dwarf-sized sack, then you know, at least we'll be fine.
They're not. They're all different sizes. You see some small sacks. Some are obviously very, very sort of sucked in and skeletal. Some are huge and bloated, like this, almost the size of horses. So yeah, it's not nice. This dwarven door starts creaking. It starts rumbling. Literally, it is like somebody's dragging heavy stone across stone. So that's given that horrible grinding, rumbling noise as the door lifts upwards, and then behind there you see darkness. You go through door. Turn to page 20. Attack the sacks. Turn to page 42. Stand there and wee yourself nervously. Page 147.
It's 147
I don't
for
want to
me.
mess with someone else's sack.
That's best.
Go for the door.
Oh, matron. So, okay, you're going to go for the door, yeah? This,
Can we carry
ham
Christoph?
now
Are we
is
going to have to drag him? Are we going to have to drag Christoph or carry him or something?
I'll tell you what, leave him in his...
Actually, less baggage this way.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Well, Hagen, because Hagen was okay, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
But then we'll
Hagen's
just say
doing
that
the heavy lifting.
it's Hagen doing the heavy lifting there, so earning his keep. and obviously going to be moaning about
For a
more back
change.
pain next time. Yeah.
Back
So,
pain,
so
back
yeah.
pain.
So he's dragging. He'll take care of the unconscious Christoph. You go and get that back door.
I think so. I think
I mean, you can
Yeah.
go for the sacks if you want.
They
just
are
the
hanging
sacks,
low,
man.
but they're not hanging
Depends
low
what kind
enough.
of adventure you are.
Just the
Hanging
sacks.
low. I just realised what I said. They are hanging, but they're not hanging in pairs.
Oh,
they're
it's gonna be one of those
but they're not
streams.
hanging low enough for you to reach. You can shoot something at it, but if you really want to. But as you're making your way towards this door, Hagen's moaning about the weight of Christoph quite loudly, and he's making a lot of noise as he's sort of dragging him along. And the more noise he makes, the more movement there is in these cobwebs.
Shut up.
Yeah. I think we should probably.
I think everybody
Exercise caution.
should make a roll
Oh, you would.
against dexterity, please. If you have any kind of stealth skill, please add 20% to your dex. I don't have Christoph's and Norgon's couch sheets, so I will just give them a 50-50 chance.
I don't suppose this counts as an urban area, being like a dwarf city.
Oh, what's your sneak skill?
It's concealment or silent move, urban.
Urban.
I
Yeah.
don't know if this will be built
Yeah,
up enough,
you're in a built-up area. I mean, it's not a main street, but yeah, you're in a built-up area. So yeah, add your 20.
Sweet, that takes a failure to a success.
So, well blagged, well done.
Well, unfortunately, dexterity is one of my better stats, but I still failed.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I only rode for Hagen because, of course, he's traveling. He was in a bit of a penalty because he's dragging up a person, but yeah, he rolled a 6. So well done, Hagen, for not being here.
Yeah, nice one.
So he's dragging him
You
along, but
lucky dog.
unfortunately, you yourself, you make a little bit of noise. How much did you fail by?
By 5 points.
By 5 points.
Yeah.
So there's a 5% chance that something might happen.
Oh.
Get back to the face.
And I rolled a 32, so you're fine at the
Whoa.
moment. Okay, so everybody make another roll, please, as you head towards the door. Hagen passes again, only just though.
I succeeded more than last time, so I'm getting
Yeah,
better
result.
at this.
Mark,
No, I failed.
what's your
By-
foul by?
I feel like what I need to.
I failed by 37.
I feel
So
like
you felt-
you'd be better off sneaking if I picked you up and carried you and just.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Yeah.
So you fell by what? Sorry.
37.
30.
Yeah.
I
3-7.
I rolled a 34. So
Oh.
as you're going along,
Oh.
suddenly one of the bags splits open, and all this gore and sort of pus and all sorts of stuff and bits of bones. It's like cat vomit, basically. So all this comes, except without the tin foil. So all that comes sort of bursting out, and this big bulbous sort of spider. Well, it is a spider. It's got like 12 legs. It's got legs coming out of its head. It's got eyes and eye stalks. It's got tentacles coming out of its arse. It's some real mutated, really disgusting creature, and it drops with a high-pitched squeal, weird high-pitched squeal. Basically just dropping straight down, leaving this really thick rope of silk behind it as it sort of drops it down. And of course, because you made the noise, it's coming down towards you. Now you see that its eyes are white, and it's also using its arms that are coming out of its head to cover up its eyes. Oh, it's not used to the light at all.
Okay.
It comes screaming and dripping and clawing down towards you. I'll give you a round to prep a weapon. I'll allow you to have one weapon prepped. It's either your crossbow or it's your sword. What will it be, young man?
It's likely to be my crossbow because I'm even worse with a sword than I am with a crossbow. So I think.
Do you want to take a shot?
No. Okay, I got it. I have a 36% chance here, right?
Don't miss and hit a different sack.
And I've rolled a 64.
Brilliant. So you missed, but there's a
Yeah.
chance that you might hit a different sack. So what did you fail by? This is your fault, Lloyd. You don't put ideas into my head.
I'm not very good with math.
I mean, I got a
I-
successful sneak skill, so I could just get out of here.
64.
What
I
did
needed
you roll,
36,
64?
and I've rolled a 64. Yeah,
And what's your skill? Sorry.
36.
Anybody better at maths than me?
It's a lot. Oh man, come on, somebody. 28.
But,
How about
It
that?
just hit the ceiling.
Okay, phew.
Thing drops right down. It's coming straight for you. Now, remember what I said about combat? If you want to parry a successful attack, you can use your attack to
Okay.
pounce. So it comes screeching down. It has a 33% chance of hitting. It rolls a 52. So it comes flying down. It takes a swing at you, sort of clawing through the air. Completely misses. You do get splashes of pus and gore across your face, and it's going to leave a stain that's going to have to get out with I don't know, baking powder. But it basically comes flying in. Baking powder, baking soda. It comes flying in, and yeah, you get loads of little.
I think either of those are too high tech for this.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. I do apologise. You're going to have to use some kind of strange compound from a witch. So yeah, it comes blasting down, but yeah, doesn't hit you. What do you want to do?
I'm waiting with my sword, now that it's close to.
Okay. What are you going to do, Mark? If you use a crossbow, if you switch weapons, you won't be able to attack this round unless you want to punch it.
I don't want to attack this round. I want to scramble away from this thing as fast as I can, and I'm shouting to everybody, "Get the torches! Get the torches!"
Okay. Lloyd. Oh, sorry, Osgood. You going to take a swing?
Yeah.
Make
We
your
can
attack.
need the other 1.5 to get the torches.
Actually, can I be grabbing torches instead, or trying to grab a torch instead of
Instead of your weapon?
reloading
Yeah,
my-
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Succeeded by 1.
60 by 1. So what did you roll?
43.
It goes to 34. So you take your swing. It's a swing and a hit. But give me a second. That goes. You order of. That goes to 34. Hits it in its one. It hits it in one of its limbs. So basically, roll a d6 and add your strength score.
7.
7. It's got a toughness of 2. That's a 5. That's a -2 critical. As you hit it, this thing it's like a sponge. So you hit it, and instead of hitting a hard carapace or whatever that you're kind of used to fighting these kind of weird creatures, it's literally like hitting a blancmange. So that's a -2 critical, except without the cherry. So roll a... Oh, too many bits of paper. So used to rules like systems. So can you roll a d100? And the higher the better, please.
93.
90.
Yeah, 93.
That's
93.
high.
That's very high. In fact, you literally just cut through its arm, take off the arm off its head, take the arm off its forearm, and then bury itself into its abdomen.
Oh.
And you kill it straight away. Single blow. Black pus. Oh, it's better than bag pus. Black pus and all sorts of crap just flies all over your blade, all over the floor. It's
All over
like
Van
KY
Ruff as well,
jelly
hopefully.
and marmalade. It's disgusting. But other than that, it's dead.
Combination I'm unfamiliar with.
So, I get what you pay for. I
I'm
suppose.
just gonna pull Van Roth close. Just like, be quiet.
Right. In that case, then I'm going to need another one last stealth roll of everybody.
Don't do this to me.
Got to get out the
I'm
room.
just
Yeah.
gonna I'll let Van Roth roll first.
This is it. The whole battle is just going to be is Van Roth
Yeah,
trying
you
to
trigger
exit
a
this
trap.
room.
Yeah, you trigger a trap, I kill it. You trigger a trap, I kill it.
Okay,
Yeah, there we go.
Long night.
I see how this is going to go. Right. 24. Yay!
Hey!
Oh, finally. I got a success as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Sadly, Hagen didn't. He actually rolled an 86. So there's a 36% chance he's going to wake something up. And I rolled a 58, so no, you're fine. And then you get to the door. And as you're going through the door starts to go down. And when one of the sacks you see splits. And it's really weird. They're like human hands, but on the end of spider arms. As it starts ripping the sack open. And all this stuff starts pouring out. But by that point, the door is slid downwards and closed. You spark up the torches.
Yeah.
It's a long corridor. Obviously, you looked at the wall on the outside, it's obviously a hidden door. On this side, it looks like just the tunnel's come to an end, and you can't see a door there. So it looks like a kind of a natural tunnel, but there's been a little bit of carving as well, so you can actually see the workings. In fact, Hagen remarks on that. This is a natural tunnel, but it's obviously been fleshed out a little bit by it's nothing special, just to make it a little bit easier to walk down. Sadly, you need to crouch down a little bit because obviously it's been carved out for dwarves. So you're sort of doing that weird squat walk sort of look, Like you're desperate for the toilet, but you don't want to admit to it.
I mean,
So
there's
you
no
can't
mechanism on the wall for reopening that door.
for the
if you
door,
need it.
none that you can find. You can have a look
Okay.
if you want to.
I'm going to take a quick look before we move out the area,
Just if
in
you find it,
case.
don't push it.
No.
Yeah, don't put short round. So stand over there and don't touch anything. Can you make? Have you got any kind of? Yeah.
I don't have any
kind
skill.
Of, no skill at
No.
all. Then just make. An
I got
initiative
no
roll,
skills.
please.
Just a regular what?
no.
Sorry.
Just a normal initiative roll. So your initiative, just roll
Okay.
each initiative.
Forget it.
Okay, you don't find anything. I can tell by the look on your face. You moving down this corridor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the walking
I don't really
order?
want to open the door, so I'm not going to bother with the switch.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Now we don't
going
walk.
first?
We
I'll go
march. Yeah. And I'm gonna be
Keep the
preparing.
stealthy one up front.
Yeah. I'll be in the middle.
Okay.
Keep the
Where you're
non-stealthy
safest.
one in the middle.
Right. You start making your way along this corridor. It goes on for quite a while. In fact, you think you must have done. You're probably walking for about 10 minutes with your torches glowing. The torch is the only light. But then there's this really strange sound in the distance, or further up the tunnel. It's like a rumbling sound. And first of all, it sounded like tumbling of underground water. You've heard that before. Then as you got closer, it felt more like an earthquake. You can actually feel almost like tremors under your feet and through the walls. And as you got closer, you could actually discern different sounds, like whooshing sounds and like massive clunking and rhythmic pounding as well. And then you hear.
So we've found an underground metal scene.
Yeah, found an underground band called Beneath the Mountain. This is the recording the new music video. So as you're sort of moving forward, it's and the air starts to get a bit thicker, a bit more stifled. Lots and lots of dust, especially as you get and then you start making out individual sounds, screeching, the sounds of drums. That's what that sound was. Shouting, horrendous roaring. Like hundreds, like a bunch of choir people have just realised that they've won the lottery. It's a difference. It's like a combination of shouting and screaming and singing. It's really, really peculiar. And then you can see light at the end of the tunnel. It's a horribly baleful red light, unfortunately, flickering quite a lot, like coming from lots of different sources, lots of different flames. As you come to the end of this tunnel, sorry.
Like, do we have to go this way?
Go back
either that or the.
When you get to the end of the tunnel, you get to the light. Your eyes are stinging because there's a bit more light out here. There's a lot more light out here. For a moment, it's almost you thought you were outside, but only when you look up and see that you're still inside. It's almost like the mountain itself is hollow. It's just the sheer size of this cavern is insane, and the way you can see how big it is because there appears to be a battle going on inside this cavern.
Oh.
Directly in front of you on the ground, you see greenskins. Hundreds of greenskins, possibly thousands of greenskins. You see orcs, you see gobos, you see all sorts of different creatures. You see one huge orc on the back of the biggest battle hog you've ever seen in your life. He's dressed as a proper war boss, axe in the air, doing his warg, sending the troops in. You see siege engines, because when you look to the right, you're on a small sort of ledge, and when there's a rock pathway heading off to you. Looking down, it's probably about 50 feet to the floor. To your right, you see a dwarven city. It's just battlements up against the wall. I don't know if you played Warhammer Total War when you played the underground sections. It's basically that. You've got this huge gobbo greenskin army in front of you, and then to your right, you've got the walls of the dwarven citadel, and you see cannons lined in the walls. They've got no thopters or anything like that. You see cannons lined in the walls. You see a battle hanging on the ground outside the gate. The gates. You see the gates are slow. These huge gates, far bigger than the dwarf, of course. They're slowly trying to get those closed. Obviously, the orcs are trying to get through to there. It's absolute pandemonium, and across the ground, you've got a very rough ground. There's lots of stalagmites meeting stalactites from floor to ceiling, like that natural columns holding the ceiling up almost. Unless it's been carved out, you don't know. There's bodies it's literally just a carpet of bodies across the floor. In fact, the orcs that are moving up to fight aren't touching rock at all. They're walking across corpses. And it's basically dwarves defending their citadel. and the noise is deafening. From the ceiling, you have football pitch-sized chandeliers holding huge bonfires, which are illuminating the scene. You've got the torches, and you've got some magic light as well from the dwarves themselves. It's just pandemonium. You are literally in the fourth circle of hell. It's fire, it's death, it's pandemonium. And I like using the word pandemonium. I'll be using that quite a lot throughout the rest of the stream. So it's just
hell would have been orcs and dwarves.
I was about to say, well, sounds all right to me. So, well, this one's definitely like a 5,000 point army. It's unbelievable, but it's just insane, absolutely insane. You've never seen anything like it.
So,
are they between us and the dwarves?
Yeah, that's
well,
what I was going to ask.
Imagine the scene. You come out of this small rock hole, very small, and they can't see you. There's all rocks in front of you. It's obviously built as like a little either observation platform or like an escape tunnel even. To the dwarven round behind you. You have got a cut. It's not covered. It's open, so everybody can see you if you go down it. It's an open. It's like a probably about 4 foot wide walkway, which goes all the way along the cliff face, and then stops in what is basically just what's left of a tower. It's already been smashed to pieces, and you see an orc there on top with his human skin banner, sort of waving it in the air. Warg! They've obviously just taken this tower. There's rubble all over the floor. And what they're trying to do is push towards the gates, but to the right, this ruined tower and area, some of the orcs are trying to scramble up there to get to the wall, and the dwarves are defending there as well. Along this walkway, you see the corpses of a lot of dwarves, sharpshooters, crossbowmen, gunmen, the works. They've obviously all been killed using this as a vantage point. Then they were all killed, and they're all covered in arrows, and you see massive bolt thrower bolts going through 2 or 3 of them at a time, or sticking in the wall, and that's just a line of corpses along there as well, along that walkway, leading to that ruined tower.
Is that the only way we have that forward?
I'm afraid so.
Well, we need to get to the dwarves. They might know a way to lift this curse from Christoph. But I don't see a way through.
Maybe we could take down that banner guy. At least it might demoralize us a bit. We can pick up some of their weapons to use if you want a little upgrade.
That's quite a large army. I don't know if one bannerman is going to make much difference.
It's one less than they would have had before.
A huge horn blows, and you see like an orc with it's like an elephant tusk horn, and he's got that. And there's a huge, like a gramophone opening.
Yeah,
it's like that at the end, and he's sort of blowing through that. And by the looks of it, the orcs are focused on that door, and they're making a huge push for that door. The dwarves come out. Obviously, they're forlorn because they're gonna die for sure. But they make this massive sort of 2-tiered shield wall, and they come slamming against that. This is huge. It's almost like a thunderclap as they slam into this shield wall. You see orc bodies and limbs and heads flying in different directions. Guys shooting down as well from the parapets. It's pandemonium. But the door, they're trying to get it closed, but there's so many corpses, they're having difficulty getting the doors closed. You can actually, dwarves are there, like door sappers, flinging corpses out the way, trying to get this damn thing closed.
You know, you have the giant chandeliers. Is there one within like shooting distance? I mean, I've only got a sling, so I can't shoot it myself. But like,
there are, but these things are huge. They're held up by about 8 chains, and these chains, each chain is the size of a man. So those.
Oh, you were not seriously
amazing,
considering swinging from chandelier to chandelier to get to...
No, I was going to like just drop it down on the army to like cause some chaos.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it's funny you should mention that, because the way that the chandeliers are lit is they can be lowered and hired. And the chain from the chandelier in the very centre is thick, and it's running across to the wall, and then it goes down to the ground right past your walkway. So you can get up that chain and crawl to that one. You see another chain linking that one to the next chandelier, which is just over. So you got another choice. You can try and get through that tower, which is rapidly filling up with orcs. There's a lot of fighting happening there. You might be able to get through there, or you can climb across the chain and then go across.
Yeah.
From chandelier to chandelier.
What could possibly go wrong?
I do not like either option.
You got to pick one.
There are many orcs in that tower.
Yeah, we can't. I think we probably would struggle against one orc, let alone like at least more than 2. So
and I just can't looking at this chain, and then looking down at his useless arm.
No, just take your time. We can do it very slowly, just to make sure that we don't like slip or anything.
Yep.
Just try and get to a point where we can release one of them.
Of course, you do also have the issue of Hagen and Christoph.
So we cannot get Christoph onto the
We can
chandelier.
just wait. They can wait here somehow. I mean, what's Christoph's current shape? Is it like a corpse or is it like a statue?
He's just like he's unconscious and as stiff as a board. He's still
Can't
heavy.
just roll him down the slope.
Yeah, we'll just chuck him at the enemy. Just use him as a hold him by his feet. But yeah, he's completely non-responsive.
Yeah, they'll have to wait. Like they're not going to help in either situation. So I think they're just going to have to keep low and not get
They
involved.
can stay here in this entrance to this
Yeah.
cave. They can stay out of sight.
Yeah, while we do the heavy lifting, like always.
I look
Sorry.
down at him, use arm again.
But at least
How bad is your arm, by the way?
Well, I've used it as an excuse for the fact that I managed to roll a 2 when I rolled for weapon skill.
Yes, that's well done.
So yeah,
Good thinking. But
How,
Yeah.
is it
Oh, well.
is it just a dead arm or what?
it's not a dead arm. Now we're okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We can
So
we
you're
can
gonna-
do this because
the
so
first
far
thing-
I've made every single roll, right?
Yeah, you're doing really well. So you're going to climb up this chain.
This could
You
be
got- well,
your
you got the-
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's going to be my time, all
It's
right.
going to be end time. So you're going to you're going to climb. It's a chain going up to this gigantic hoop, which is of course is the top where they pull it up and down. That chain then goes down to this massive turntable, which looks like not turntable, sort of the big roll.
Yeah,
of the
like a-
chain
yeah.
round
Yeah,
it.
like a giant
Yeah.
windshield.
Wheel.
Yeah, and
thing.
it's which obviously been pulled by oxen at some point. You can see the loops for that, but they're all dead now, and they've basically ignored this because orcs aren't very good climbers and they're scared of heights. I don't know if that's true. It's made it up. So yeah, if you want to climb the chain, I'm going to ask for. Has anybody got any kind of climbing skill?
I've got one skill and it is ride.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends how you plan on getting down. Let's
Yeah.
I've got
Tell you
ride
what,
as well. But
I'm going to climb on. I'm
yeah.
going to climb on. Onto
Yeah.
Osmond's back.
I remember when I was a kid growing up to be like a warrior of some kind, but my grandpappy taught me how to ride giant chains just on the off chance that I needed to save my life.
You never know where you're going to need this, son. but Grandad, shut
He
up,
was a
climb the
weird
chain.
I know it seems niche, but
Well, my father and my father before my father did all this, and they were
Yeah.
mad as
You come
well.
from a
They're all
long,
called
prestigious
A long line of
clan
chain riders.
Chain riders.
yeah.
Thanks.
There we go. The next episode of this Warhammer game is going to be called Legend of the Chain Rider. So, Legend of the Chain Rider with the manky arm.
yeah. Well, it's
So,
going to be. I have a sneaky feeling that Van Roth won't be appearing in the next episode.
Isn't that weird? So, what you have got then is a climb of a chain, and neither of you have any kind of climbing skill?
Um,
Not necessarily.
I'm
No?
gonna. I just get by on my charm.
You're going to
So,
charm
no.
the chain.
I
Yeah. No, the chain
I
blocks
haven't
you.
got charm
See what I
either.
did there?
Yeah, I've got dodge
So-
blows. On the off chance that I fall, I'll miss the ground.
Well, thank God for that. I bounced.
Actually, if I have to roll for it, I probably will.
To be fair, if you fall, you're going to land in a massive pile of corpses. It's going to...
Oh, there's that as well.
Mm.
Or
we're still-
lots of orcs with
It's like
pointy
it's like
spikes.
It's like a pointy bouncy castle.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. So, to be honest with you, though, because the chain itself is really big and there's loads and loads of handholds, I'm going to give you a plus 10% anyway to the roll. I'm in
Oh.
that kind of mood. So, I am going to ask you to make dexterity rolls, then, please, with a plus 10% to your dexterity score, to take into account the fact that there's lots of handholds and easy things to hang on to as far as these chains are concerned. And this will get you up the chain to the hoop.
Oh dear
succeeded.
God.
I'll go above Van Roth because I don't have faith in him just yet.
Okay. I'm off.
Whichever direction we're headed.
How much did you fail by?
I failed by 28 again.
Okay. Can you roll a d100, please? And please
I-
don't roll less than 28.
Okay.
How about you just stay on the walkway?
There was no chance of me rolling less than 28. 52.
52.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start climbing up the chain. You both start climbing up the chain. Osgood, you go first. Like I say, you're going up the chain. The chain is immobile. I mean, it's not moving under your weight or under your movement. It's just almost like stone itself. It's completely immovable.
Yeah.
And of course, whilst you're climbing up here, you've got the constant sounds of back up. Actually, Amadeus. You get a wayward orc arrow narrowly misses you, bounces off the wall, chips a bit of stone off, and then starts tumbling off. That's slightly startling. You lose your grip, but you manage to hang on. You don't fall.
Okay.
But you will have to make another dexterity roll to get to the hoop. Osgood, you get to the hoop. You can carry on crawling across. Literally, imagine the massive battlefield. You're crawling across a giant chain over this massive battlefield to get to a giant chandelier. I didn't think I'd be saying that on a Saturday night.
And then we can swing dramatically across, like in those romantic adventure novels.
True, on a giant chain. But like I said, there's a chain also linking this chandelier to the next chandelier and blah blah. But then you've got to get down. Anyway, I'll leave that.
Getting down's easy.
One at a time.
Problem at a time. Also, I've got to roll to see if any orcs notice you. Sorry, I didn't think of that. So give me a second. It's a 25% chance. 61. No, I'll ask you to do stealth if an orc's going to notice you. Right. So if they're looking in your direction, then I'll ask for stealth rolls. So yeah. So you're going to need to make another roll there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I figure that I've kind of frozen perhaps on this chain as this is kind of going on and I'm swinging around. Yeah. And I just shout ahead to Oscar, I don't think I can make this.
That's fine. Just take it easy and just stay safe.
I was expecting something a little bit more sort of uplifting and motivational. I don't think I'll make this. That's fine. I know it doesn't really work.
I believe in you.
on a dramatic sort of point.
Yeah. Or something like, well, if you don't,
there was the prophecy of the chain rider and the guy with the gimpy arm.
It's the prophecy is true. So it's the man with the arm.
You know what? I'm starting to hate these dice.
I'm starting to hate your character decisions.
By 29.
Your character creation skills are awful. So have you just tried again? Sorry.
I just failed by 29.
You failed by 29.
I rolled one more than last time.
Brilliant.
Time down. It's just clearly not going to happen.
Okay, no, I rolled on 82. So again, you go up another 2 steps, and again. You slip or you lose. You don't know. You're still slightly solving. So like I said, there's lots of smoke and dust, and the smell is just horrendous. Mainly from you, actually, because you shit yourself on with this chain.
Probably.
But it's absolutely foul, and it's really, your eyes are watering. It's not nice at all.
Damn.
He's found it every time he climbs.
You want me to make another roll, don't you?
Chain then when he started.
Yeah. You are getting there, but you might get there by the end of the next session in real time. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to do, Osgood?
I was going to carry on to the
bitter end.
Okay,
if I can get to the chain link in the next one, I can maybe try and pry it loose or something.
Yeah. Do you want to make another dexterity roll, please?
I just made one. I've rolled a 15.
No, not you.
I made it. Oh, sorry. Well,
you save it for your next one. Save it.
No, I can't.
I
can't now.
It's so rare.
I've earned it now.
You're going to have to roll again, I'm afraid.
Earned it.
I didn't see it.
I agree.
I got a 8%.
8%. So you're showing off a bit there now. You're sort of a little flips and shit.
I'm getting a bit sus. I'm getting a bit sus.
I mean, I've got the dice you wish you had.
I think so.
You make it to the chandelier. There's lots of places to stand on here, big thick beams, so it's not dangerous. Meanwhile, back on the rope, back on the chain to get to the hoop. Okay. You finally roll a 15, and you make it to the hoop. Now you've got to go from the hoop all the way to the actual chandelier in the middle. You need to make a dexterity roll, please.
Okay.
Okay.
A 10.
Brilliant. You sort of make your way along. You get into grips with it now, and you get to the end of the chain, and you manage to get yourself onto the chandelier. Now you are hanging over the battle now, looking directly down. You're almost in the middle of the orc ranks. Literally a little bit in front of you, you see the dwarves still fighting to hold them back from getting through the gates. But directly below you now, it's nothing but a seething carpet of orcs. So I'm gonna do this like Garth Marenghi now.
I've got them right where I want them.
Right where you want them. Them.
Want them. Down there.
So yeah, it's So what do you want to do now?
Look at where the chain is, hooking up to the next one. To see if something I could pry loose or loosen or release or whatever.
No, these things you'll need either like an acetylene torch or or an ogre to get this chain loose. It's not budging.
Alright, so the chain leads to the next one. Does
Yep.
that
You can crawl
okay.
across.
Where does this chain inevitably go?
The chain goes to the next one, and then the next one is half over the battlements of the dwarf fortress. So you should be able to
you can
get
use
down from there onto the fortress. In
Ah,
fact,
cool. So at least one of us can escape.
yeah.
And
Let's
I'm
have a new
standing
party
there,
next session. That's fine.
sweat's dripping off me right now. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at
At the
I was
moment,
gonna-
you are between 4 huge bonfires. These are the sort of bonfires you get on bonfire night. This is like a burning 70-thatched house. These are absolutely huge. The heat is horrendous, and one solitary drop of sweat comes off of Amadeus's face, falls through the grating, falls through the air, and lands on the shoulder of an unsuspecting orc. He then looks up,
No.
and then he's shot in the face by a dwarf. So, but yeah, it's quite insane. Now comes the stealth rolls.
You're going to tell me
that-
that was the difficult bit, right? You're going to
Yeah,
tell me
that
that
was-
was the difficult bit.
No, not yet. I'm going to. Well, you've got stealth, concealment, urban, haven't you? So I'm going to ask you both to make stealth roll, please.
One question I had about the chandelier thing, the fire light source.
Yeah, it's the main light
what-
source. You will get a 30%
What are
bonus.
the fires contained in?
Oh, sorry.
I wonder if that's something I could dislodge.
This is like cold, but it burns for a very long time. Literally burns for days, and they're big chunks of coal, like the size of human heads. They're
wonder if it's
built
like a brazier or
in
something,
massive.
like
I know,
yeah,
but-
yeah.
Eve.
Osgood, do you really want to be attracting attention while we're stuck up here on these chains?
I mean,
Oh.
I'm a lot more sure of my position then.
Well, here's an interesting
That'd be
thing.
honest.
This is
It's
the-
also a weird
I would
position.
like you to
This is also a
consider
weird conversation to have.
the other members of your team
This is
before you make.
I would love it if
is.
we're just arguing from like the wall of the cave to the ceiling of the cave, and it's just the voices are echoing everywhere, and the orcs are like, "Where the hell?"
Where's that coming from? But they're not going to hear it over the sound anyway. So yeah, you literally have to shout at each other to be heard. It's like being in the pub, except with orcs. And underneath, is an interesting fact though. These massive braziers. I never know how to pronounce it.
Braziers?
These massive bowls of fire. The way they get to them is by unclipping them underneath. There are little bolts that go through, so they swing them down and then change them and refill them, and then swing them back up again. So it is possible that you could knock out a couple of those bolts, and the whole thing would then swing down, almost like a trapdoor, and then pour boring hot coals down below. If you'd like to do such a thing, draw attention to yourselves.
That sounds incredibly heroic, Osgood, but I still think that maybe we should consider stealth at this moment in time.
I mean, we could. Just don't know if I'm gonna like die of starvation waiting for you to catch up.
Oh, he's there. He's made it.
Oh, he's made it. Oh, cool. I thought
Yeah, he
was
made his
still
second roll
going
again
to
across the
first
train.
room.
You rolled a 10. Yeah.
All right. Okay. In that case, let's just go then.
Okay then. So
Check
both of you make
Killjoy.
another dexterity roll.
Oh no! Fuck it. Let's do it then.
You can do it.
Yeah, this is for fun.
Let's fuck it. Let's do it. If we get into that dwarven city, I mean, now I've reconsidered this. Now I'm in a much better position. We reconsider this. We get into that dwarven city that's just about to be overrun by a whole bunch of these
Yeah, exactly. Let's help them out.
creatures.
We can't drop a chandelier on them. Let's drop some.
You're right.
flaming
You're right. I
firewalls.
don't know what I was thinking. Let's do that.
Remember, you're on this. You're still on the
Yes, my
first
boy.
chandelier. You're still on
Yeah.
the first chandelier. So you've still yet to cross a chain to the second chandelier to get over the walls.
Yeah, think of how many fireballs we're gonna have across all these chandeliers.
You gonna do it?
We could win this for the dwarves, and they'll owe us forever.
So how
And
many of
we need
these?
them to help Christoph.
How many of these braziers? I still can't pronounce it. That sounds like a French beer then.
How many of
these-
Brazier.
How many of these large fire cups do you want to? There's 4 of them, one in each corner of this massive chandelier. How many of them do
Let's
you
just
want to
do
replace?
one, just to see how much. Yeah,
How close can we get
just
to
to
it?
see what
actually?
happens.
They're
Yeah.
really hot, right?
That's not
Yeah.
the question to ask.
Oh yeah.
Whose side are you on?
Okay. Well, it's going to take both
At this
of you.
point, I don't know.
Not for you to knock
Okay.
the bracket out for the whole thing to tip down. Like the little, it's like a bolt action. You need to pull that out. It's going to take both of you because these things are quite hefty. And
Okay.
these things are usually burnt down to nothing, so there's quite a lot of weight still. So I'm going to ask you both to make a strength roll. You can either make a roll independently, Basically, it's your strength times 10 to roll against it. So you can roll independently, or you can add your strength scores together and then roll against that score.
Let's do that.
We should add them together, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you make
3.
the roll. I have a strength 3 too, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so 60%.
60%. One of you
make
roll.
the roll.
We got 10%.
10. So you both grab hold of the thing. You pull it. It yanks. You don't even hear what happens. The whole thing clicks, and then the actual. It's loose. The whole thing just swings downwards, pours out these hundreds of head-sized coals, burning coals. The heat is incredible. I'm going to ask you both to make a dexterity roll.
I knew that was coming.
Because these things, the whole thing pours down. It's bouncing everywhere. So just a normal D100 against dexterity, please. What's your roll?
I have rolled 37, which is my dex.
I failed by 6.
By 6. Okay, then. Don't laugh at him. It's unfortunate.
Only one of us can succeed at a time.
No, it's just typical, isn't it? The one time I make a roll.
It's just when
we work together and combine our dexterity scores.
Strangely, no. What's your toughness there? Sorry.
3.
3. So it's going to be D6 damage. And I rolled a 2, so no, you're fine. It burns. You're probably going to get a little bit of scalding, lost a little bit of hair, maybe.
But in a good way.
It's nothing that goose fat can't solve. And you sort of, you both sort of force back onto the grating as this whole thing swings down. Can one of you roll a D100, please?
Oh, go for it.
High
Lloyd.
or low?
As high as you can possibly get it.
Go for it. Go for it.
You watch. 35.
35.
I needed that.
3.5 orcs. No, the whole thing just swings down and it literally just sprays out as it's coming out the bowl. It sprays out almost like a watering can. They're not expecting it. It's these big chunks of rocks landing, smashing heads in, setting fire to a cart. Somebody, I don't know, has his watch damaged. The whole thing literally just comes crashing down on top of them. You can hear howls and shouts and all sorts as they're all sort of running off in different directions. Now that really spooks the ranks up front. Obviously something's happened behind. They all turn around and wonder what the hell's going on. They all get shot by dwarves. Massive hail of bolts starts coming down and that front line wavers but doesn't break. They're still pushing. And by the looks of it, there's a good chance they might get through that gate. Do you want to release another one? Just a point of notice, just in front of where all this lands was the orc war boss. And he sort of spins around on the back of his warhog, looks behind him as he sees his fellow orcs going up in flames or running around in circles shouting, "Why me? Why me? There is no god." It's just unbelievable. It's just mayhem.
Can we go to the next one, or do you want to just fire this one? We can go for the opposite corner.
Yeah. You want to try and hit the orc war bosses? You want to get? Of course, they're all looking up now. Then know
if we
you're
get the orc war boss, that'll definitely If we have that option, we can go for that one.
I agree. Yeah.
We go for the orc war boss.
We're going for him.
Brilliant. You go running forward to this next one. Just as a word of warning, if you do stop there and open this, the orcs are now looking up and what have you. You will be targets. At the moment, they're all whistling around confused.
Yeah, I think it might be like our only option in time. I think.
Yeah.
Unless we can get really quickly get to the next, and then fire that one off. But how far away is the next chandelier?
Probably about 20 meters. It's quite a way. You'll be open.
We have another option. You could maybe make for the next one, and I can try and distract them by trying to open this myself.
I think these are things. We either go together or we stay together.
I don't want to slow you down
Let's
anymore.
just go for the war boss. Let's just do it.
Okay, I know. Just nod. In agreement.
Arrows before arrows.
Bows before bows. Okay, then roll your D100. It's 60% chance.
It's all yours, man.
49.
Way.
Brilliant. You grab hold of the bolt, you swing it open, the war boss is starting to turn around, and again, another massive shower of shit literally goes blasting down on top of them all. Many meteors just smashing into the ground, and then you can see them sort of pointing upwards. It all showers down onto this war boss. Please, Mark, can you roll D100 for me, please? The higher the better.
92.
Yeah, that's enough.
Right. That is high enough. Like scores of orcs all around it. He gets his head crushed in. When the bowl slips out idol that falls down, makes that really weird sort of Tibetan prayer bowl sound as it goes spinning down to the ground and smashes odd number, even number, smashes directly onto the head of the warhog and crushes its skull completely, and the whole thing just flops down sort of belly. The war boss is stood there with bits of raining hot rock bouncing off his shoulders. He's still looking at his hog, and he just sort of goes, "Brian!" at the top of his voice, and he's sort of there with his other. He sort of leans back, looks up, and just goes, "Warg!" And then that's when the orcs open fire with bows and arrows.
And
it's going to be difficult for them to
lightning.
hit because they're shooting up, and there's a lot. They're all blinded by all sorts of smoke and all sorts of crap.
It's getting dark up here as well.
Yeah,
It's doing really well. I'm impressed by so far.
That'll definitely help out by stealth and concealment.
Yeah, but I will say that 1d6 will shoot per round. In this particular round, 4 will
Look into
shoot,
the next one.
but they will have a 15% chance of hitting because, like I said, they're blinded and all sorts.
Yeah.
If they do roll a hit, I will roll randomly to see which one of you is actually
Okay.
hit. Okay, so the
That's
first one
fair.
rolls 47, 56, 53, and 87. So massive arrows start coming up through the grating and sort of bouncing off the ceiling and all sorts. The war boss is now on fire, but he doesn't seem to give a shit. He stood there, literally, he sort of jumps off Brian, lands on the floor, and all these on all these dead corpses, and he's fuming. He's looking up, and as you guys are walking along, he's sort of walking along as well, just waiting for you to drop down. He's frustrating his pain in his face. Ahead of you, the line's broken. The orcs ahead of like, what is going on out there? And they sort of turn around. There's one orc with his hands on his hips going, "Oh, can't even fight a decent battle these days." And he's sort of literally just, they're all sort of, what is going on? And the dwarves are pushed forward. The forlorns of the dwarves, they're all going to die. They know they're going to die. They don't give a shit. They push forward with the shields. They push
the fucking gate.
and as you say that, yeah, the gates behind finally slam shut, and you hear a massive cheer go up from the orc fortress. The war boss is miffed. I mean, proper blazing red eye. His shoulders are on fire. His arse is on fire. You see this weird gas of fire coming out of his arse. He's obviously got flatulence, and he's on fire, which doesn't help. It's made it worse. So, what do you want to do now? You need to get across this
bucket.
chain.
We're going to try and scrabble across to the next one, yeah.
Okay, so you're making it another dex roll. Please, everybody.
8%.
8%. Well done, you.
52.
52. So, what is your dexterity? Sorry.
37.
So you fell by 15.
What was it? 15, yeah.
Okay, so there's a 15% chance. Okay, you're fine. It was close. I will not say how close. As you're both going across this chain, you slip, but you're fine. You managed to get your footing again. And now more orcs are firing. Okay, 6 orcs are firing this time. So, 6 rolls. First one, 57. Number 2, 73. Number 3, 69. Nice. Number 4 is a 12. That's going to hit someone.
Oh.
Number 5 is a 47. And number 6 is an 86. So that's 12, which goes to a 21. So one of them's hit. Odd number, it's Lloyd. Even number, it's Mark. So...
It's me, just because I don't imagine you fancy your chances of getting
Okay.
hit by an arrow.
I have rolled a dice, and the number has come up an even number.
Oh.
I am sorry.
I forgive you, Jonathan.
The orc, that's all right. So the orc fires. It goes. I've just dropped my dice on the floor, which is never a good thing. Sorry, I've got a bowl here. I'll just grab another one. So, is there one at the top? No, there isn't. Well, of course there isn't one at the top, John, because you'd never put them at the top because you're a twat. Give me a second. I've lost my dice.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
That's right arm.
I found my dice. So that's right arm. The bolt comes flying up and slams into your right arm. Let's see. Are you wearing any armor?
Not there.
No. You can't use your shield because you are working. So what's your toughness?
My toughness is 4.
It's 4. That's really
It's
good.
like, yeah, the one good roll, I
Is
think.
that your good arm or your bad arm?
That's my bad arm.
Is it? Oh,
That's
shit.
fine. It wasn't
Yeah.
helping anyway.
Okay, so in total you've taken 5 wounds. But in fact you've only taken 1 wound because of your toughness of 4.
Okay.
So it doesn't embed. It slices through your leather and slices into your bicep, but then carries on. Hits a spider and kills it. And poor thing. So yeah. So you're still alive. That will slow you down.
Now,
as you're heading towards.
I still got wounds from an earlier the fight with the orcs in the thing. So I'm
Okay, how many
down
wounds
to
have you got
3. I'm down to 3
That's
now.
3 wounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that hurt. And yeah, so now you're still making your way across this chain. Strange, the chain starts swinging. How weird. As more orcs are literally just blasting away. You can also see some orcs are sort of seeing where you are, and they're kind of following to the next one. They're following the chain down, and they see them all pointing at the chain where you've climbed. And they see orcs starting to run. And in fact, the warboss is going, "The chain!" And they all start running towards the chain. And all the dwarves are like, "Yeah, shit!" So they all come running forward. As you start heading across, you're going to have to make another dexterity roll, I'm afraid, as you've just been sliced by an arrow.
And I'm just shouting ahead to Osgood, "Just go! Just go!" 14. Yeah, made
14,
it.
brilliant. You're hurt, you're bleeding, it's not bad, and you manage to get over to the next chandelier. You see dwarves on the battlements, they've seen you now, obviously they've seen what's happened, and they've run forward. It's probably about a 20-foot chop from the chandelier down to the parapet, and they're what they're doing, they've grabbed a flag, and they're sort of holding it there, and they're pointing it. There's like 20 of them, well, the dwarves, so there's like 40 of them, holding onto these, holding onto this flag, and they're all pointing at it as if to say, "Jump down into the flag, lazy bastards."
Jump.
It would be a bad time to fail with this face palm on the ground.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Jump
To be
into
honest
this
with you,
blanket, what we are holding.
Unless you roll a critical failure on your dex roll, you'll be fine. So make a dex roll. If you fail, as long as you don't fail by rolling a double number, you'll be fine.
No. I failed, but it's a 41. I'm okay.
Okay, you're fine.
Yeah, I got a 80.
Yeah. So you both literally just jump off here as more arrows come flying in. As you get to the end of the chandelier, rolled another 6. I do apologise. So, you rolled a 1. Someone's going to get hit in the head. Rolled a 60. Rolled a 69. What are the odds? I rolled an 8. That's 2 hits. Rolled a 31. And I rolled a 93. So there's 2 hits.
Okay.
We've got 1 even number. That's you, I'm afraid, Mark. I'm sorry. And 1 odd. Literally, as you're running across this chandelier to jump down, bolts and arrows are literally just flying past. But 2 arrows find their mark, 1 each. Mark, you take... Oh, shit, off the table.
I just got hit in the head.
You did get hit in the head.
It'll be the opposite, so it'll be 60, whatever.
Yeah. So, well, don't worry about it, because you've taken 4 points. He only rolled a 1 on his damage roll. So you actually take that, but it does hurt. There's a horrible ringing sound in your ears. Lloyd, you take 7 points. What's your toughness?
Toughness is 3. I have 1 armor.
Okay, so you're taking 3 points. What's your wounds?
Currently I got 5, so it'll take me down to 2.
Okay, take you down to 2. It's a bad hit. It does hurt. It's wedged into your armor.
But we're in success. We're safe now.
Yeah, but that's right.
We just fall onto this blanket.
It just pass out.
Yeah. You sort of just jump down. Now you can see the orcs almost like cockroaches or ants climbing up this chain, but it's easy picking for the dwarf sharpshooters. They just shoot them off as they climb up, and after a little while, I mean that's just another area where they're going to have to sort of get in. And you can see dwarf engineers pointing at where the chandeliers are moored. They're obviously talking about bringing them down. As you sort of scramble out, there's dwarves, and these dwarves look. A lot of them have looked very old, look very, very battle hardened. It looks like they've been doing this for ages. They've got sunken eyes, massive bags under their eyes. They look emaciated. They look like they've been doing this for a long, long time. They're pale. They're tired. They're covered in shit. It's just not nice. And but they've got the energy to fight. These are dwarves at the end of the day. They're very stoic, extremely strong, and they're sort of picking you up, even though one sort of comes over to help you, Lloyd, and it doesn't even talk as he's chatting to you. "Nice to see you, lad," as he says, he's pulling an arrow out of your arm, and the other one sort of come. They're literally just dragging you off, and then a more important looking dwarf. He's got the helmet with the big sort of Elendil sort of wings off it. I would put my helmet on actually and show you what he looks like, but I'll take my headset off. Yeah. So he looks very important. He's got big wings coming off his helmet. He's got a book, big thick steel-bound book chained around his waist. Obviously his own personal book of grudges, of which he's just closed and took the pen behind his ear under his helmet. So weird. He comes walking over. He's got a battle axe and he's got a pen in one, like a quill in one hand and a battle axe in the other. He comes walking over and went, "Where the bloody hell did you come from?" I'm not doing a Scottish accent.
Oh, we came from the...
What was that?
We came...
Well, we just come from Barbados. Is that what you were saying? Jesus Christ. What accent was that?
I was going to drop into it, but I just gave up. halfway through. We came
It
from.
was a half-hearted
There's a
effort.
dwarven,
Somebody call Croy.
some kind of dwarven ruins just across the cavern that way.
What? What, that tunnel through there? That tunnel through there goes to a dead end.
Alright. Well, there's some kind of old throne roomy dwarven construction on the other side of it. So we found a secret door.
That's gonna be worth looking at. But let's get your wounds seen to.
I
Where
wouldn't recommend it.
you hear
Some kind of
horns?
mutant beastie on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, great. Always mutants. They're looking over the walls, and you hear some of the dwarves cheering. You hear horns blasting, and by the looks of it, the orcs have, now that the gates are closed, they've started to withdraw. They're getting shot to buggery by organ cannons and all sorts. There's all shots going off, arrows flying into the ranks, explosions. You see the war boss is still stood there. He's got one hand on the back of his dead hog. He's still on fire. And he's there with his axe going up and going, "Oh, Brian will be revenged!" And the dwarves literally just all pushing their way back and disappearing back further down the cavern. The dwarves are all cheering and shouting and obviously very, very pleased. And this captain sort of turns to you. "I'm Grumnar, and you've just changed the course of this battle. Come on down here, let's get you washed and fed."
Wait, we have friends still over on the ledge.
"I've got loads of friends, nothing to boast about." "Oh, sorry, what, you got friends out there, yeah?"
That's right.
Another
one of them,
and somewhat comatose human.
He has been on the receiving end of some curse, probably from an old dwarven lord.
We've got some law masters here that might be able to help him out. Right, okay. Oi, you. Gimme, Simmy, and Limmy, get out there and bring him in. And these four dwarves sort of looking confused. What did he just call us? And they'll go basically running off and head towards where the collapsed parapets and the towers are to climb up onto the onto the pathway to get across there.
Yeah, I'm gonna just follow him down.
He goes down the steps. I mean, this is just the
steps.
wall to the. This is like. I mean, this looked like the main gate to a fortress, but what it is a fortress protecting a main gate to a dwarven realm. So behind this wall, you've actually got another huge dwarven gate, which is protected by. It literally just carves into the side of this, like an indoor cliff face. So it's it's Warhammer.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. So
how long have you been fighting here?
Probably for the better part of a year. We've been waiting for reinforcements, but from what we understand, everywhere's under siege. Just like the entire world's just going through some sort of huge shift. Tides turned against us incredibly. It's unbelievable. We've always had problems with orcs, but never en masse like this. But then again, they've taken advantage of the fact that the Empire was going through a civil war, and they managed to get the numbers together whilst they weren't under threat from men. Pain in the arse, but there you have it. I mean, don't get me wrong. What happened out in the Empire is terrible, but it's made things really groggy nasty for us in here. He goes through a doorway to the doorway into another huge dwarven hall, almost like the one you came out of, in the ruins. But this one's actually alive with forges, and it's actually like what a proper dwarven hall should be. In the centre, there's a huge pool, and you can see bubbling lava, and that's what they're using as a heat source, and using that to. As power, I suppose. You see massive weird contraptions creating water into steam. He sort of takes you over to like a makeshift, like a building within a building, like a small sort of bunker. There's loads of injured dwarves in there, and a couple of dwarfs come over and help you out, sort of tending to your wounds. So where did you come from? Oh, I know you came from the cave, but how did you find that? What happened?
We've been sent from Altdorf to find a man named Armand de Gwyn. I don't suppose there have been any other men here.
You're looking for Armand de Gwyn? Why would anyone go
have many friends?
He has no friends. It's him that started this war. If you're looking for Armand de Gwyn, I'm going to hire you myself. I'm going to hire you to kill the bastard. I want you to bring me his head on a stick, covered in shit. Walks over and pours himself some really weak ale. Looks like they'd be watering down the ale, but no, watered down ale's better than no ale.
Yeah. Why would Armand de Gwyn have started a war here?
Because he said that this city shouldn't exist. All the way through, he's always said that we shouldn't be here. We don't deserve to be here. He was trying to get us into trouble with on the other side of this mountain is the beginning of the Forest of Lauren. He tried to start a war between us and them. We chased him out, told him he wasn't welcome. Next thing we know, we've heard him whispering into the ears of different people, and then the orcs got wind of a secret passage here. I wonder how they found that out. So next thing you know, we've been infested with orcs.
It's
Nothing
this
but a
armand wind
troublemaker.
has upset a great many folk.
He starts wars and he watches people die and then walks away, and nobody knows why.
Our emperor has
Well,
sent us
if we
to
can
find
find
him.
him, we can. If we find him, we can ask him.
If you can find him, you can kill him. After you've asked him, I will give you 10,000 gold. It's quite a lot. It's probably more than what the Emperor earns at the minute. If
Our
you can kill
Emperor
him, that's
has-
great.
We can buy Altdorf.
See this book? I filed it under A for Armandi fucking Gwyn. Him bastard.
Our
Take me a
emperor
swig
has
of watery ale.
has
Sorry.
dispatched us to
It's another swig of watery ale.
Emperor Karl Franz has dispatched to find this man to take him back. It is
Well,
said that he
we
could
need
see
to
into the
we need to
future.
judge his work, like whether he actually has any ability or not.
That was not what we were asked to do.
What exactly is the Emperor asking you to do?
Because he's supposed to be some kind of like fortune teller, from what we heard.
Apparently, he has advised emperors in the past, and
To
Emperor
find
Karl
out what he
Franz.
knows and whether the stories are true.
But all we've heard so far is that he just takes misery and destruction wherever he goes. Or
To the
leads
north,
it.
he convinced the vampire counts to build armies. Back in Britannia, he actually murdered a prince so they could start a war between two provinces. I hear that in the Italian city-states, he actually took the daughter of a king, took her away when she was a baby, and then reintroduced her when she was 18 years old as his prospective wife. What? How is that sane? How is that sane in anybody's And the man is here to cause trouble. He's brought down kings. He's destroyed fledgling empires. He has travelled the world and laid waste to all of it. For some reason, every single time he goes into bed with somebody, they trust him. He convinces them that he's doing the right thing, that he can help them. And everybody wants power. Even I wanted power. That's why I trusted him. And now look where it's got me. Another 2 months, this citadel is going to be nothing. We can't hold against another assault like that. That war boss is bringing in all kinds of reinforcements constantly. And all because
going
they
through that
civil war.
secret passage.
There's no secret anymore. He smashed those gates through. There's nothing but a massive opening now to the rest of the mountains. He's bringing them up from the south from the border princes. They've all come together as
Maybe we could
huge
can we
combined
collapse the
tribe.
secret passage, or the passage, whatever.
It's not a secret passage anymore. Like I say, they found
Yeah.
they've got through and smashed the doors into the entrance to the extra caverns. See, all this out here, we're going to have all this knock through, have a nice patio. No, all this out here, we're going to build and all this to welcome foreigners and bring in travellers and trade. But now look at it, it's a battlefield.
Well, if we blow the tunnel, he might be able to collapse it, so they can't come through that way at least.
Well, we've already got enough powers
make
to
it
man
more
that.
hassle.
I mean, we've got no supplies. There's nobody coming to help us. We know we're doomed. We all know we're doomed. But it's not a question of when you die. It's a question of how you die, and we're going to die fucking well. And a whole bunch of dwarves. There's a dwarf missing an arm. He lifts up his thumb and goes, "Aye,
Someone else with a terrible weapon skill.
aye. I've got a really manky arm. I've got a background story which explains it. I'll tell you later."
The arm bros.
Arm bros. Cream
Hombres.
rise. So.
Would
Right.
now be a good time for a break, do you think?
Yeah, well, we can get patched up and hopefully not charged for the service.
No, after what you've just done for us, you've given us a reprieve. That's given us a couple of days at least to get ourselves back together and to build up a proper defence. We'll take care of your wounds, get you back up to speed and send you on your way. I can point you in the right direction for Armand Gwen. It means going into Bretonia, but I'm losing my voice now. But I can send you. I can send you out there to where I know where he last was.
But thank you for your aid.
All right.
I'm sure some accident could befall them on the way home. Turns out to be they is.
You bring his head back to me, and you'll be rich, men.
I mean, if you're gonna get wiped out in 2 days, I mean that doesn't give us much time.
Well, you better be bloody quick then, aren't you? I will take a break there, yeah?
Yep.
Brilliant.
See everyone in 10.
Okay, 10 minutes. So, welcome back, everyone. It's good to see you for the second part of tonight's Warhammer campaign. Chapter 3, The Battle. I'm sorry, I'm reaching down here because my shoe's just fallen off. It's of no consequence, really.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. That's better. So, anybody want to catch up, or should we just get straight back into the shit?
We've got to a high, so we can only go downhill from here.
Oh, mate, this is Warhammer.
Daring epic rescue of a dwarven fortress.
We did something. We did something cool.
And
now we're about to pay the price for that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, this was designed with the dwarf party member in mind. It's a shame he's not here. So I had to switch to the chandelier gig. So, here we are. You in the Dwarven Fortress. The Dwarven... You don't know if he's a king or watcher, or whatever he is. But Grimly sort of literally just... Excuse me. I've got to do the dwarf voice again now. Oh, shit.
Maybe don't do that if it's going to hurt.
Yeah, but if I don't do the dwarf voice now, it's going to lose all effects. A minute ago, it was like, yeah, let's go. And if I suddenly switch to, anyway, head out there, you'll be absolutely fine. So, hang on a minute, this kid's missing out.
Your real voice.
That's just his fighting voice. Now we're in private. He doesn't show up.
Oh, yeah, he takes his arm off and goes,
like a proper
sort of flops himself in his chair, big beer falls out, he goes, oh, thank God for that. No, it just doesn't work for me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just pushes my Adam's apple up into my jaw.
It's really, really annoying. Sadly, but now that my testicles are free, I can talk normally. Oh! So anyway, so when we first start go back into dwarf mode.
To Bretonia.
Okay. Yeah.
And beyond. No.
Oh, you want to get to Bretonia? so I can get you out of here and get you through some tunnels out the back here. They're only small, well, they're for dwarves, but that'll get you through into the edges of the Forest of Lauren. That's the best I can do. If you get to the edge of the Forest of Lauren, well, the last time he was seen, he was heading into the Forest of Lauren. Of course, nobody goes into the Forest of Lauren. That's where the Grog and Elves live. So it's a bit dusty.
The what elves? Sorry.
There's elves who live in the forest. And then a dwarf lawmaster sort of walks in and walks over to this in the corner, and he's sort of nodding away. And then he looks surprised, and then he nods, and he looks upset, then he looks surprised again. And then this lawmaster walks out, and he walks back over. The lawmaster looked at your friend, said he's cursed, and he's been left in this strange limbo. He said, from what he can tell, it's elvish magic.
That's weird.
No idea why somebody's using elvish magic in a dwarven hall. Probably Armandigren.
I was going to say.
Who knows? You can't just blame everything on Armandigren.
Oh, well, bloody blame. Oh, my toe. Oh, Armandigren, you bastard. No. He's done a lot of things.
Yeah, but anyway, we saw where we came from. If you just go through that wall, like just strafe through that wall, you'll find it, and you can do your own investigations while we're away.
Oh,
you might be able to use that in escape to get yourself out of here before the orcs come.
Well, we've got the tunnel out to the edge of Lauren Forest for that. But how welcoming the elves will be, I've absolutely no idea. But we're not going to let this fortress fall without a fight.
I mean, there's been plenty enough fighting already.
Too much blood. Some might say not enough. Right, hold on a second. Fabbly, gabbly, nabbly, wabbly. I need you to escort these gentlemen to the secret tunnels. And the dwarves are there going, he did it again with the same dwarves. So, they sort of come walking over.
It's like he doesn't know our names.
What a bastard! And he speaks in this really deep voice. We have no idea. We're not like that around here. Call us the Bee Gees.
I'm going to submit a stone tablet of complaint to DR.
Yes, don't stereotype us, you bastards. Not all of us swear. Oh, shit. So, they come walking over. He gives you a few provisions, sorts your wounds out. You'll all get one wound back for everybody who's injured.
I'm injured.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Is that one wound, or how many wounds? Or just
one wound. You get one wound back.
This is Warhammer after all.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that generous.
But
yeah, you get one wound back, but you're going to lose it in about an hour due to infection.
An
So-
hour.
Oh no, I'm being generous.
I
So
was going to say.
we got to get through the sewers.
Now, let's just pause just momentarily.
Okay.
Dave has just left a message in the chat saying he's just got in through the door. Are you playing, Dave? Are you there, Dave?
You can't do that,
Let you
Dave.
do that, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave.
It's okay. You can
Hammer.
come in on the next session. So God,
Okay,
when is the next
don't
session?
panic.
It's the last
It's no
session of
rush.
the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the last session
Session of the year. Oh shit, yeah. Anyway,
Just sit back and relax.
sit back, relax. You've had a hard day at work.
Yeah,
Sit back,
take
relax,
it easy,
crack
man.
open a beer,
Don't you rush.
and then
Enjoy
just
the
shout at the
show.
screen at the fact that we're all making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
I've already decided that I have winning this game. So that wasn't a dig at you lot, of course.
No, of course.
So yeah, so there's dwarves whose names are just made up. They all come walking over. They give you some provisions and little bits and bobs. He shakes your hands. He doesn't. We've got the gold here. If you bring our men's head back, the gold is yours. 10,000 gold crowns. Agreed?
We have
Just make
10,000
sure you
gold
stash
coins,
it
but
somewhere
we
easy
cannot
to
return
we can
home.
find it.
Or leave a note. He finishes his ale. Picks up his battle axe.
He's arrived just in time for us to leave the Dwarven Kingdom behind.
Bye. You've just arrived just in time for you to miss the entire section designed for your character. So,
Just going to
Um,
Elvenwood.
yeah, now we're going to the worst place for your
and
character.
Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Good luck, and may you find what you're looking for. I need to may the force be with you. Then that could have been embarrassing. And may you find what
May
you're
the
looking
dwarf
for.
be with you.
Yeah. Dwarves be with you. He picks up his axe, adjusts his book of grudges, calls out loads of dwarves sort of gathering around him, and then he goes walking back up to the battlements, obviously to get back into the thick of it, or start to get ready for the next assault. Fimbly, Wimbly, Gimbly, Bibbly, and Wibbly, they basically take you all the way through the wreckage, and you're walking through what's left of the dwarven halls. The forges are still going, making arrows and what have you, but you can see that it's very low quality. They're literally just banging them out to be used, throwing axes with brittle blades that can probably only be used once. They really are at the dregs of their supplies, and you see all sorts of supplies in the corner, rotten fruit and wheat, and like the water's all the way down. It's just horrendous. Usually you see these big, stocky, powerful dwarves all ready to go. Like I say, they all look weak and emaciated and pale and hungry. But they're still going for it. Obviously all the troll slayers, you don't see a single troll slayer. They've obviously all thrown themselves into the thick of it and found the ending that they were looking for. This is the people that are mainly fighting now are just frontline troops and blacksmiths. That's all that's left, and they'll fight to the end. So, Wibbly Wobbly, Dibbly and Wibbly, they basically take you through the entire, all this wreckage, and they make you through hallways. You go to a storage room, and yes, there's a secret door behind a big metal case, storage case that swings out. And they say, just follow this down. I can't do that voice. The tunnel goes all the way down. You'll be crossing over, wading probably waist deep in an underground stream for a little while. When it comes out, you'll have the mountain behind you, and you'll be on the other side of the range. And then ahead of you, you'll see Lowen Forest. Good luck to you, and thanks again.
Thank you for taking
Good
care of us. Yeah.
They swing the door closed behind as you all head into the hallway and head down this tunnel. It's long, it's winding. They give you torches, lanterns to go by, so it's not that it's quite brightly lit. Unless you've got dark vision. And you basically just head down, and yeah, you get to waist deep water. You have to wade through that for a good 10 minutes. It's freezing cold. It's the melting ice water coming off the mountains. You make your way through this small stream, and then you come out at the other end. And literally, the moment you step out of this cave entrance, and this cave entrance is hidden by, again, very cleverly, like with the overlaying rocks. It looks like a flat rock face, but it's not. It's like it's like rocks overlaying each other, so you have to walk through like a little maze to come out the other side and through some bushes and trees. It's really well hidden. And the first thing that hits you is sunlight. Lovely, gorgeous, warm, welcoming sunlight. And ahead of you, you see the glorious trees of a wonderful, gorgeously beautiful forest, even at this time of year. Behind you are the mountains, and you've probably got a good day's hike before you reach the edge of Lowen Forest. It's still quite a way, but the ground is even. The ground is not treacherous, and there's animal paths that you can follow and all sorts. It should be quite
if the
an
ground's
easy
even,
walk down
that's
the
going
hill.
to be difficult terrain for Van Roth.
Why?
Because he's even some odd.
So I've completely missed that. I do apologise. But yeah, so you got a nice easy walk down, and you follow a nice gentle gradients. It's basically like walking down alpine hills out of the mountains. So you've got sort of shepherd huts and herders' cabins up the side of the hill. You can hear the jingle jangle of bells of goats and cows as you're sort of heading down here. It's actually really This is like Switzerland in the summer. It's really the Alps in the summer. It's really picturesque. Absolutely. Excuse me, I do apologise. Absolutely gorgeous.
It all seems very peaceful. Are we sure Armand de Guin has been this way?
There's a couple of pissed off cows, so yeah, probably.
Yeah.
As you head down, you go past a small, empty, abandoned farm. So it looks like nothing untoward's happened here. Looks like the ground's just been left fallow for a little while. You go past there. Extremely well-built houses, but of course the location of farms means there must be a town nearby. And as you do get to past this little bit of farmland, you actually encounter what looks like a well-used cart track. So you can head north or south.
You say there are settlements, or like little farms in that around.
Yeah, you've gone past an empty, abandoned farm, but it's only
abandoned.
not because anything bad's happened, but by the looks of it, the ground's just been abandoned because the ground's been fallow. It's fallow. It's probably just waiting for the ground to be a bit more farmable. And when you get down to the bottom of this land,
What's north or south?
well, it's
A
time to get
forest,
out
for
the map. Not the big
Oh.
map actually, because that big map is a pain in my arse. Let me just put this under here.
You're reading
think
it
it's
wrong, then.
Back of, I think it's on the back of the Hogshead. Oh, here we go. The map. So
The map.
the map, which you probably can't see very well because bollocks. Where are we now? So the Forest of Lawrence. So you've literally come out around about there. Okay. So the Forest of Lauren is is here. Okay. So you've come out around about the middle there. You can actually see that river ahead. But you've got farm track. You've got like a wagon track heading one heading north and one heading south that you can follow. I know it's crap, isn't it?
We need to find a bridge across the river. Then that's the.
Yeah, for north. Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, going to equate to we're coming from the east, so therefore, south is left, north is right.
Yeah, so you're turning right, yeah?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, you start heading north. It's, like I say, it's an absolutely gorgeous day. The sun's beating down. It's actually quite pleasant, quite warm, which makes it quite for a nice change. And in fact, even the air feels different here in Britannia. Of course, back in the Empire, it's bedraggled, it's crap, it's rotten. It's just not a very nice place to be. But in Britannia, it just feels clean. It feels pleasant. It feels like you could walk along the mountainside with your knapsack on your back. It's just really pleasant. And as you're sort of basically just heading north, ahead of you, you see a cart, like a big, like a wagon train, a sort of a Wild West wagon train car, that with the big sort of hooped back. You see one of those just ahead of you, being pulled by two huge draft horses, and there's a donkey on a rope tied to the back of it, and it's just making its way along, and you can hear the clanking of pots and pans, and as it's just like a traveller, just making his way leisurely across the path, like without a care in the world.
Perhaps we should ask this man whether there is a settlement nearby, because that's most likely where the bridge would be, right?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Try and get this fella's attention.
Like I say, it's meandering along, and it's an old fella, a big wide-brimmed hat, big long pipe, which is puffing along on he's sat back on the bench on the front of the wagon with his feet up. Horses seem to know where they're going. He's got like his hands nonchalantly on the reins, and as you guys sort of walk up next to him, he sort of looks down. Usually, I mean, in the Empire, it's like, oh my God, there's another person. I'm going to shit my pants until I know if he's going to kill me or not. And you know, everybody's quite hostile towards each other. But he sort of looks down and sort of takes his pipe out and sort of blows a smoke ring and sort of lifts it up Gandalf style. Bonjour. I'm not going to do a French accent, just to warn you.
Okay.
Greetings.
Yeah, good day.
From the Empire, I see.
So the accent that gave it away.
The accent and the clothes. Looks like you guys, what year is this? Sorry, I forgot the genre for a minute there. Looks like you boys have seen a little bit of action. A carbon scoring?
We came through the mountains. It's been quite a
Through
journey.
the mountains? Nobody comes through the mountains unless you're up by the pass. Where on earth did you come through the mountains? He sort of looks over at the mountains as if a passageway is going to magically appear.
It's a long story.
Well, I'm sure it's well worth listening to. Well, if you boys, there's a town, we're almost there actually, it's only an hour or so away. A little place called Vano. But if you gentlemen want to climb into the back, what's happened to your friend there? He points at Christoph.
He is not feeling himself at the moment. That's that joke again.
I was about to say, yeah, we can see that, yeah. So, stop messing around. So he basically just looks down and says, well, feel free to sit on the back. I've got nothing worth stealing, not unless you like bales of hay. Sort of points to the back, and yeah, as you can see, the cart itself is just filled with hay up to the very top. There's not a lot of room to squeeze into the back, but you all four of you will fit.
We will take you up on that offer, sir.
Good.
Thank you.
Give you a moment for you all to clamber on. So why you come through the mountains? What brings you over to Britannia?
I don't say.
Oh, he-ho. What brings you to Britannia? I don't know where that was. I'm terribly sorry. You've travelled a bit too far. You're now in South Africa.
It's a fantasy universe.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do whatever accent we want. So, what the fuck brings you to this place?
Yeah.
You're going to get into town and get a Barbie?
I would love it if all the elves are just Australian.
We are actually looking for someone. We have been sent here by the Emperor himself.
You've been sent by the Emperor. There's this look in his eyes as if to say, yeah, whatever, mate, you've been drinking. But by the Emperor, which Emperor is this? The mutated Crown Prince? Or whoever's taking his place now? What's his name? Franz Karl?
Emperor Karl Franz.
Karl Franz, that's it. Apparently he's going to change the world.
For the better, we hope. Yeah, the man we are looking for, he seems to have made many enemies, though, and...
What's his name?
I gotta look across at Osgood with uncertainty.
It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Well, keep your secrets.
I'm sure you've never heard of him, sir.
Probably not. All I do is travel this road north and south, dropping off hay and bits and bobs for people who care to pay. He says, when he says care to pay, he hangs on that word a little bit as he looks at you.
Oh, okay.
And then he turns around and looks forward. So, all the way from the Empire, on behalf of the Emperor, looking for a person. A little bit out of jurisdiction. I mean, what would somebody that the Emperor wants be doing in Britannia? Doesn't sound very politically stable to me. I mean, you don't want to start an incident, do you?
Well, it's just someone who seems to be going around making enemies, causing a bit of a ruckus.
Is it an Imperial? Because that sounds about the type. I'm joking, of course.
I mean, suffice to say, our Emperor
I don't really know his origin.
Our Emperor does not realize that this man has created so many enemies.
Or maybe he's not the kind of man that you want to be finding then, by the sounds of things.
I'm beginning to wonder.
We'll have none of that
in... Stop him or whatever. We'll got him.
But there'll be none of that in Vano. Vano is a lovely, peaceful town. It's small, it's quiet. There's quite a few people there, but they keep themselves to themselves. They trade at the river. They trade with some dwarves that used to come down from the mountains. They haven't for the last few months. And they trade with the elves as well. So, yeah.
So there is a bridge across to the forest?
Yeah, Vano's the town that straddles the bridge. Actually, it's built on either side of the river and the bridge. So, just a small place, little trading area where everybody can meet up as friends. Leave your weapons at the door, and you go in to trade and do business, and that's it. The mayor there, he does not suffer any trouble, if you know what I mean.
We're not looking for trouble.
Well, we kind of are, but not in that sense.
I hope you didn't say that out loud.
Yeah. That's very rude of me. Actually, I'm not
It's
introduced.
just the kind of day we're having.
I've not introduced myself. I'm Manuel Devano, and you are?
Osgood Stoke.
Amadeus Van Roth. And these are our friends here. I've forgotten names. Norgan Drocksplitter
and Waste of Space.
and Christoph Van Dassel. Christoph, he appears to be, he's very unwell at the moment.
Nagrand or Gorgond or something. I can't remember.
Norgond.
It's nothing. Norgond. Yeah. It's nothing infectious, is it? It sort of lifts up.
No, not at all.
A tissue.
No. Something he found in a cave, shall we say?
Yeah, you know how curiosity killed the cat. Well, apparently
well,
some people need to learn that lesson over and over again.
It's more like curiosity twatted your friend.
Yeah.
Well, it's not far till to Vano, so just make yourselves comfortable. I'm slipping into a dwarf voice for some reason. It's not far to Vano, so to make yourself comfortable. And the cart trundles on. It's a lovely warm day. You've got bits of straw between your teeth and up your crack. It's you can relax. You can maybe have a bit of a sleep because you are caked in pus. You know what I mean? Dust, cold, blood, gore. It's not. You look an absolute state, to say the least. But he seems cool with it. And then within the hour, you go cresting over a large bend. The river's roaring next to you now, and then ahead of you, you see Vano, and it's basically a small walled town built on either side of a large, wide bridge, and there's buildings on the bridge as well, going between the two halves of the town. And it looks, how can I put it? Well, it looks clean. I mean, when in the Empire, you'll go to towns and what have you, and they're just covered in shit. There are literal people painting the walls with shit. But looking at this now, it's clean. It looks like the buildings were built yesterday. They're white. They're beamed. There's lots of stone buildings, lots of turrets, towers. Almost the actual like the mayor's house is like a small Disney castle. The big sort of turreted towers. You know what I mean? Everything's really, really pleasant. And actually, there seems to be some sort of festival, maybe sort of a little celebration going on. Oh, don't ignore that, says Manuel. This happens all the time. It's just market day. That's all. They like to make sure people are welcomed. As you're kind of heading in, yeah, there's all carts lining the streets, stalls, well-dressed people walking around. Looks like they're all enjoying their lot in life. But yeah, extremely, extremely pleasant. In the town square, literally just before where the bridge starts, it is just a large town square, the town circle. It's a large circle, and in the very middle of it is a statue, and there's a statue plinth, but there's no actual statue on the plinth, which is weird. And there's the fountains and all stuff around it, and there's all flowers around all that and all sorts. And every time somebody walks past, they'll chuck another flower onto it. So basically, this fountain, in which the middle of this plinth is standing, is just covered in flowers, like a massive tribute to whatever it is. But
someone steal your statue?
Oh, the statue's not been there for a long time. It's an old god who was disregarded when this town was built. They pulled it down, and the town has prospered since then. Obviously, who needs gods in this day and age?
I was starting to get a little bit concerned that perhaps Armand de Gwyn had stolen it.
Who's Armand de Gwyn?
Oh, thank God.
I mean, that fucking whack. No, I'm joking. No, Armand de Gwyn.
Are you blacksmith?
I've not heard of that name before. Is that some sort of bulk tale from the Empire?
He is the man that we are looking for.
Armand de Gwyn.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like a Bretonnian name.
Yes. However, he's probably not somebody you would want to have frequenting fine towns such as this.
Sounds like a laugh. He pulls his cart up. Right, this is where we stop anyway. He stops by an inn, a huge, packed out inn. There's like 7 beer gardens. It's that big. So he sort of stops and sort of pulls himself out the back, and sort of helps you down.
Yeah,
If you're looking
thank
for
him.
some help for your friend here, you should find it on one of these stalls. We get all kinds of people wielding all kinds of weird magic around here. So especially where the elves are concerned.
That's good to know. We thank you for your kindness and your assistance. And I'm going to give him some coins for the.
He sort of nods understandingly. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you, sir. And I've gone back to that voice again. Suddenly he morphs into a dwarf. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. And, well, enjoy the market day. He pockets the coins and heads straight into the inn.
Yeah. Do we...
That's a nice change of pace.
Suddenly... No, I'm joking. So,
Just, yeah, like we're surprised again, like, oh, he stole my kitten.
and he put them to death and then turned them into large monsters and called them all Simon. So, as you sort of getting off the back of the cart, 2 town guards walk over. They look like they know their stuff. They're both walking along with spears. They've got sort of buckler shields over their shoulders. They're fully kitted out, mail armor, the works. Properly dressed, but in that Bretonnian way. So they've got those weird sort of striped pantaloons and high boots. Like musketeers, but, you know, like licorice all sort of musketeers. And they sort of come walking, I think, with the pot helmets on. Both come walking over. They've taken notice because, of course, you're covered in shit and you got an unconscious friend. And one sort of walks over and looks over. What has happened here?
He is unwell.
It's not infectious, is it? He pulls a little handkerchief over his
Some
face.
sort of.
Oh, no, not herpes again.
Just see if we can find some way of lifting it.
Yeah. Curse.
Yeah,
Elvish
he was
magic,
bumbling around in
apparently.
Yeah, Elvish. He was bumbling around in some ruins and touched something he probably shouldn't have.
Curse is not good. Not good
Not how
at
it
all.
goes.
Yeah. Obviously, his common, his imperial common is not very good. So if you follow me, he points over to it's like a large marquee tent, and there's obviously people also in there. It's like a first aid tent almost. We have elves staying. They may help. Yes. Come.
Hopefully. I'll translate.
He looks at the wound in your shoulder and the cut on your arm and blah blah blah. You been in trouble, yes? Yeah.
We came through the mountains.
Through the mountains? He looks up as if a pass is going to magically appear. You came through the mountains? Only thing in mountains are dwarves and orcs.
Yes. And I'd look down.
Yeah, we got a little bit of each of those on our clothes.
Oh well, 20 quid's 20 quid. So just come over here, and it sort of leads you over to the tent, and sort of goes walking over. As you walk in, it's just basic ailments, but there are a couple of elves there. Very, very tall, as you would expect an elf to look, with the ears and the long sort of tabard sort of costumes, very flowing clothes. One looks a little bit more serious than the other. They're both male, but they both look exactly alike. Be twins, probably are twins. But the one looks a lot more serious. He's got a huge sort of burn scar, and his ears pretty much all gone on the right hand side. He sort of looks over, and he looks over at who was probably his brother, and he goes. His brother sort of turns around. He sort of points over to you, and sort of makes a signal with his hand. His brother sort of nods. It sort of flows over to you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. It looks like you need help that I can offer.
Yes, our friend here has fallen prey to some elven magic. So
Elven magic?
Well, that's what we were told.
Bring him over here,
We don't really
please.
know. Yeah,
He moves
we don't
over,
really
he
know
flows.
what it is.
Moves over to a bed.
He's fooling around with some hammer or some such.
It sounds more like dwarven magic than elven
that's
magic.
what we thought. That's what we thought at first, but the dwarf said it was elven magic. Please don't tell us it's the dwarven magic. We're not going to go back and forth trying to solve this freaking curse.
Well, lie him down. I'll see what I can do. He turns over to the guy, and looks over to his brother, and says, "You fetch me the book." And his brother does some sort of sign language, and he sort of nods. Yes, that one. Yes. Turns around and sort of looks at Christoph, puts his hands on his forehead and on his cheek, on his thing. Are you sure he's not dead? He checks his pulse.
We're
His
not
pulse
that
is
much.
very weak.
Oh,
He opens his eyes and stares in. His eyes are like glass. So he's literally checking up.
To be
each part
honest,
of his body.
neither of us have checked whether he is alive or dead since we left the cave.
He's fucking dead. So
We've
yeah,
been
no,
dragging
yeah.
a corpse around
I
with
would
us
actually love
all
that.
this
It's just
time.
like Weekend at Bernie's Fantasy Edition.
Sorry, Strain, but he died at the beginning of this episode. Just out of sheer
just so
boredom.
we could do Weekend at Bernie's. That was it. Yeah.
Weekend at Cole Franz. So he's sort of checking his body. He gets his hands and opens his hands, and you see the runes that were on the hammer are burnt into his hands. And straight away, but like the guy out of what do you call it, Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he's burnt the seal onto his hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! No wonder he only got one side. I never realised that. I'm a twat. In the film, they only got one side of it because it was burnt into his hand. Weird. I don't know why I never realised that when I first saw the film. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I went off track. So he's sort of checking, and he sort of looks, and he's like, this look of shock comes over his face. And he sort of steps back, and he turns and he says, "Brother, the other book." And the brother's like, looks quite surprised and heads over to a satchel, brings out this thick black bound book with absolutely no markings on it whatsoever. How did he? Yeah, we thought he was going to beat him to death with it. How did he get these burns? Where were you? What happened?
We took shelter in a cave that turned out to be some kind of ancient ruin. There's some wolf guy on a throne. I don't know. We didn't really get a lot of time to look at it before he rushed in and picked up the freaking hammer.
This is a soul curse.
A what? Sorry?
A soul curse. This curse bounds you to a place or to an item. This is elven magic going back centuries. Even we don't use this anymore. We don't even know even if the Druki use this anymore. This is old magic.
Can you cure him?
It's fortunate you found me here.
Can you cure him?
What are the odds?
It might take a few days, but I'm sure I might be able to do something.
Make
This-
it 10. There's no rush.
10 days. I'll make it 14. Actually, no. We'll wait till after Christmas. So it's this may take a while, but if you leave him with me, I'm sure I'll be able to do something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we just want to enjoy the peace and quiet while it lasts.
Yeah. As the brother is walking over, he sees he's got the book in his hands, and he trips over one of the pallets on the floor, of the beds on the floor, and he falls to his knees and he loses the book. The book literally tumbles out of his hands. The book bounces off the floor, then spins through the air, bounces off a bucket, and then spins and lands right into the hands of the other elf. He goes, "Oh, that's a stroke of luck. What are the chances of that?" Yes. And he sort of opens the book, and the book opens, and he says, "Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for." Like, the book is opened on its on the page that he was looking for, and he sits down next to the bed and basically starts reading through the book. This will take a while, so I'll let you know how it goes. Are you staying at the inn?
Yes.
Okay. I suggest you get yourself to bed for the night, and I'll see what I can do.
Will there be a charge for this?
There's no charge. We come here during market days as a goodwill gesture from Lauren to show the people that we are not demons in the forests.
Well, we must pay you something.
No. Us helping and us being with the people here to show that there is no harm or animosity between our peoples. That's payment enough.
Well, we'll owe you a favor then if you ever need it.
Of course. But you'll find that no favors are needed in Vano. This whole place is just
arguing.
It's always this town is just blessed with good luck.
That's good, but still, you have a favor if you ever need it.
Of course. I'll
Good
stop arguing
circumstances
now.
change.
They won't. But
Like
yeah,
the
of course.
arrival of the arrival of Armanda Gwyn. So I'm gonna bow graciously and head out of the tent.
Yeah. Everybody seems happy. There's music playing on the other side of the square. You see there's people dancing around this plinth. There seems to be. It's starting to get late in the day now. You don't know how long you're underground. Probably for a day or so. Probably less than. When it's starting to get late, you see the sun starting to dip below the horizon. The sky is turning like an inky blue. And torches are being lit. A bonfire's being lit. There's people coming to and fro across the bridge, traders and all sorts. And you see one trader breaking down his stall, and he's selling these weird sort of pottery like icons, a lot of crosses and circles, something really simple and really nasty. But by the looks of it, he's had a really belting day. He's breaking down his stall, he's putting stuff back in his bags, and he's sort of singing to himself, la 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 la, and you can hear the wife is just behind him going, "That's the best day ever. We need to constantly come. We need to come here more." And they're sort of packing things down and putting stuff away.
Oh,
what he's making is just
weird.
Yeah, it does. Shall we investigate this fellow?
Yeah, find out what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that we could probably just draw like a straggly little picture on a piece of paper and probably sell it to someone here.
Well, he's packing up. By the looks of it, there's just a small husband and wife team. They've got like a trap on the back of a a trap attached to a horse. The stall is really, really simple. It's literally just like a trestle table, which he breaks down and puts in the back of the trap. And his stuff, he literally just no care whatsoever. He's got like Hessian sacks. He's just pushing these little trinkets. They're literally just little clay things on string, which you wear as charms. And he's just putting those into his with symbols on them you can't even begin to recognise. Some of them are just like 3 lines or maybe a triangle with a circle in the middle. It's just weird. He just pushes those into his bag and just chucks in the back willy-nilly without any thought whatsoever. And then jumps up into the trap and is about to move off.
It sounds like you've had a very good day.
Always have a good day in Vano. Vano is the best place for trading anything. Anything you want, you come to Vano. You want it, it'll happen. It's the best town in the area.
Seems like a very fortunate place.
I've never known a trading town quite like it. We come from Cornell's. We travel here as much as we possibly can. We come straight here. We trade here. We make a fortune here. Anything. I mean, these things. I mean, people just love them here. These little trinkets. I cast. And he sort of stops himself. Yeah, it's good. The trade is excellent. The trade is excellent. The wife has sort of nudged him. We should be going. We should be going. He sort of nods. Yeah, of course.
How much are these trinkets you sell?
Just a silver each. Would you like one?
What are they?
They're good luck charms. He says that very non-convincingly.
Yeah.
They're good luck charms.
If this is a town where everybody's supposedly having good fortune, what need would they have for luck charms?
They like them. They wear them around their necks. You'll see quite a few people wearing them.
Well,
and then when we come back next time, they've lost them for whatever reason, so they want to buy another one. They seem to think they bring them luck, and I'm happy to oblige.
We could do with some luck.
Well, I'll tell you what. By the looks of it, he looks you up and down. Look, by the looks of it, you could do with some luck. So here, he reaches into a bag and pulls out 2. Hands one each to you. There's little circles with the triangles with a circle in the centre. Hands one to each of you. They're on the house. May these bring you fortune. Certainly have for me.
A little X and a little square for our friends.
Yeah. Yeah, hands 2 more.
Yeah, just give it
We can just keep 2 each, 2 twice as much.
Good luck to you. Not that you'll need it in Vano. He sort of laughs out loud.
So that's what everyone keeps telling us.
Yeah. Whips the reins and he takes the horse and trap and starts heading across the bridge. Pays a toll. There's a toll gate there. People are paying tolls to come across the bridge, which he pays quite gladly, and then goes off.
You realise we've been in one of these idyllic towns before.
Yeah. Always puts me on edge.
Well, it wasn't idyllic when we left the last one.
There are thunderstorm clouds rolling in off the mountains. You can see the storms kicking off on the peaks. You can actually see the storms kicking off in the forest beyond. But the rain doesn't fall on Vano. People are coming out of the evening. They're enjoying the cool air. as the storm sort of pushes the air down. From the eastern front, we're going to have a nice chill this evening, about 5 or 6 degrees. It's sort of pushing the cold air down. People are kind of enjoying the fresh air. They're all coming out. People are sitting outside. They've set up braziers, set up fire pits outside, and they're all basically just sitting around,
just hanging out to dry,
having a beer. As I
Burning
say,
their braziers.
Yeah, braziers. Thank you. No, they're not. I don't know what they are. Anyway, so they put these things out they can buy in IKEA, and they're basically just filling it up with coals and a lot of little barbecues, but they're not. And basically they're all sitting around, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. The evening's coming in. As you're sort of walking down, you see somebody shout, "Looks like you two could do with a bath." Luckily, by the looks of it, somebody has just been filling up bowls of hot water, and people are just washing themselves as they're going along. We've got some at the back here. It's only half a gold each.
Yeah. How fortunate. I look down at this little trinket that we've just been given.
Yeah. Well, as you look down at the trinket, you see a little glitter under your foot, and as you look down, somebody's dropped a coin, and it's the exact amount of money that you need to pay for a bath.
I
have a feeling this amount of upside is going to come with some kind of big downside later.
Oh, well, perhaps we should just take the good while it's with us, then.
Yeah.
I take the coin off the floor.
Take the coin off the floor.
Yeah. Head over
immediately. As soon as you touch the coin, you have a coin in your hands. So you pick up the coin, and you both want to grab a bath?
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Get all this guts and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of you do actually. I mean, the elf is in there giving a bed bath to you, mate. I won't go into details with that, but everybody else basically, you all get yourself, and it's a lovely hot bath. There's the scrubbing salts. There's rose petals in the water. It's a cut scene from the Witcher game. So it's really, really nice. You basically get yourself all nice and cleaned up. If somebody's offers you just for a few coppers, they'll sort your clothes out. They get all those scrubbed up and what have you.
Okay, and when I agree to that, I look down at the floor.
Yeah. Everything's fine. It's just a floor.
Oh, no coppers. Pay for
no coppers. No. But then a policeman walks in.
I think mine's run out.
Yeah.
I need a new battery for mine.
Just breathe on it. So we should give it a shake. So yeah, you get yourselves all nice and cleaned up, and by the time you all finish your baths and your clothes are all done and sort of you get yourself dressed again, you'll get your wounds. Everybody get your wounds back up to your full score, please. Like I say, you're just refreshed. There's beers on the go. There's people outside singing. You hear music playing. People have had a really good day at market. There are some people who have travelled here from market who are staying the night. So the inn's full, unfortunately. You might have to go over the bridge for another. There's another inn just over the bridge, which you can stay in. But unfortunately, there's no room at the inn at this side. And I'm afraid not. No.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you have a space between us and this weird town, it'll probably be for the better.
Well, the town is on the other side of the bridge as well. So, like I say, you got the town. The bridge itself is covered in buildings. Yeah, Old London Bridge. Yeah. So, do you want to cross over to the other side?
Yes, I guess we should if we are looking for.
It's the option. Let's go for it. Our little dwarven friend will pay.
Yeah, he pays. It's only a coin, a couple of coins each. It's absolutely fine. Then you get across the bridge. You get over to the other side, no problem at all. A lot of the houses on the bridge are empty. Looks like it's all freshly built, and you can actually scaffolding is still up. The bridge itself is really, really wide. Series of arches, really, really thickly built, extremely well built. It's a fast-flowing river as well. And you get over to the other side, onto the other side, and this side on this town, it's the same sort of buildings, but a little bit more dreary, a little bit dull. There's an inn there again, but it's a bit creaky. There's a few people around. There's a couple of stalls. But everybody seems to be a bit, whatever. Feels more like an imperial town than it does. You know what I mean? Everybody's a little bit down in the dumps. There's a lot of mud on the floor. Some dogs pissing in the corner. And again, you've got another circular town square at the end of the bridge. And in the middle, there's a plinth, but with no statue on it. The fountain around it is dry, and nobody's chucking coins or flowers at it at all. In fact, there's a little bit of a smatter of rain coming down as well. It's not pleasant.
I'll chuck I'll chuck a coin at the statue. Just
Yep.
Yeah.
Chuck a coin at the statue and it lands in the water with a plop and sinks to the bottom of the brackish water and disappears out of sight. Yeah. And then after you do that, there's a laugh near the inn. There's an old man sat in a rocking chair with a shotgun. No, he's an old man sat in a rocking chair in front of the inn with a big tankard of ale, sort of looking and pointing and going, "That won't bring you in. That won't make any difference." There, they get all the look over there, not over here.
So why do you stay
Might as well
over here?
fish it out and keep it for yourself.
if someone else finds a use for it, and all the power to them.
You just come over from the other side, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right.
Are you new to town?
Yeah.
I'd find a room on the other side of the room. You only come over here if you haven't got the money to spend. If you don't have the fortune.
Well, the other side's full, so like there's not much in the way of choices. So
I'd head back over the bridge and I'd find somewhere to camp outside.
If it's so bad over this side, why are you still here?
Well, there's an interesting story behind that. And then the door to the inn opens and a rather flustered large woman comes out and she looks over. She goes, "Father! Enough with his stupid stories." She sort of picks him up and takes the mug away from him. "I'm so sorry, gentlemen, but he tends to talk nonsense to strangers. It's either that or he talks to nonsense to strangers in his head. Come with me, honestly." She sort of ushers him back into the inn. "I'm so sorry."
It was no bother.
Yeah.
We're actually looking for rooms.
You want to stay?
If you have them spare.
Are you new in town?
Yes.
And there's no rooms on the north?
I'm having deja vu.
There's no rooms on the other side of the bridge, no?
Not from what we know. That's where we were told there were none.
Okay. Yeah, we have rooms. That's no problem at all. That's no problem. There are other people staying. Do you want a private room or the communal? The communal, or the non-private rooms.
We just get a room for the three of us.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. That'll be for all three of you. That'll just be a gold just for the evening. Do you need feeding? Do you need food? We've got food. It's not great, but it's food.
Food would be good.
Okay, come in. As you walk in, this place is proper dreary, and you can feel almost like there's like mildew in the air. You know what I mean? It's just miserable. It feels like you're back home. And you walk in, and there's probably about 5 or 6 patrons in there, all sort of looking over in the beers. The fire's going, but it's providing absolutely no warmth. It's just really depressing. And in the distance, you can hear music playing on the side of the bridge. You've got bright lights and lanterns. Somebody sort of shouted, "I won the lottery!" You know what I mean? It's just really, really joyous. But over here, it's like, oh shit, everyone's shit. And she pours you a beer, which just tastes like brackish water with a little bit of hops in it. It's just not nice.
So as she brings that over, I would just want to say to it, your father was saying that this side of the river is less fortunate than.
All the money's on the other side of the river. A lot of the trade comes down from the elves and from the dwarves, and they just keep all the money over there. On this side of the river, we don't get many travellers coming through from this side, so no, we don't have much fortune here.
You're part of the same town. The wealth is not shared.
No, there's nothing on this side of the town that anybody's interested in. They just felt that's why they're building the bridge. That's why they're putting buildings on the bridge. They were hoping that more people would come, but more people won't. Nobody stays here, so.
This is the side with the forest, right?
Yes.
But the elves, they bypass you completely, and.
Oh, the elves don't come up this far north. We get no trade here. I'll get your rooms ready for you. Yes.
It seems weird to have such a dichotomy over a river, but yeah, maybe it does have to wait. I'll
get you room ready.
Yeah.
One day, I'm sure we'll hit the right notes. But until then, All the money's on the other side. But,
I don't suppose you've been visited by a man named Armand de Gwyn over this side of the river by any chance?
No, I've not heard that name before.
Probably the old cackly man probably know. He seems the type.
Armand de Gwyn. Oh, I remember him and his stupid flippers.
He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah. Piss off. No, he doesn't know him. No. Splitter. Sex. That's all you talk about. So
I'm assuming we're going to have a very unsatisfying meal here, right?
it's not great.
Yeah, it's better than no meal.
Cold ham,
Yeah,
some really
picky
weird
bastard.
tasting pickles, some cheese. The bread's nice. No, it's not. I'm only joking.
Yeah.
It tastes like shit, but it's very hard. But no, it's not great. It is filling. Don't get me wrong. It's just everything about it is just it's well made. It's not disgusting. It's just bland. It's like you just bought the mildest cheese you could think of.
Yeah.
It's not even Christmas.
Feels like
not
there's something
nice.
going on with this, and I just don't want to investigate it. We've had a long enough day, so let's just enjoy our enjoy this as much as we can. Get some rest. And then
Enjoy.
Okay.
we can reconvene in the morning.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get yourselves washed. You got yourself a last little private room. You get yourselves to bed, and like you say, you've been through a hell of a lot. You're tired. You've had some food. It wasn't satisfying, but it's filled your belly. You've had shitty beer, and you're tired. Your friend's in good hands with the elves, and it's time for bed.
Yeah.
During the
we
night.
hope he's in good hands. You come back and he's just
Don't you
like,
kind of
gone.
think it's a little bit strange
him-
that probably
Yeah.
Christoph's probably having a better time of it than we are.
Yeah.
Right.
He's pissed out of his face.
Yeah, who knows what
Nice
they're
one.
doing with those nimble elven fingers?
Ooh.
But
So
yeah, like I always find it really weird. This whole that weirdly perky town. So there's clearly something wrong with it.
you both retire for the evening, and you get off because after you spend a long couple of days, so you get off to sleep pretty quickly. The night comes in thick and dark. You sort of drift off to the sound of distant sounds of pipes and flutes and banjos and ukuleles and different instruments, saxophones, and it's just it sounds really nice. And that kind of distant sort of smell, that sort of droning and singing, sort of drifts you off to sleep. Finally, you do get to sleep, and then you don't know what time of night it is, but then you're woken up by something that we'll discuss in the next game after Christmas.